Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. I am just having some water here, also having a protein soda. I'm not gonna lie, I think I'm addicted, but I think I'm okay with it because it's got great macros. What I wanted to pop on and chat with you about, I posted a question box yesterday and I answered a few different questions. I was trying to get to as many as I can, but there was a couple in there that it's just tough to answer everything in kind of the either one screen without feeling like I'm writing a novel for people, and I never know if people are actually going to read those or not, or trying to respond and having kind of that 1 minute box never feels like enough time. So I wanted to pop on and just have a little chitty chat here with you. I have worked in the health and wellness space for over 10 years now, and if you have been a human on the planet, you have seen the trends of diet culture over the years. I always laugh with clients about 1 year kale's in, the next year quinoa's in, then carbs are good, then fats are good, then one's out, the other's out. The only thing that seems to get an okay rap is protein, but not like within protein itself. Red meat's in, then it's out, chicken's in, then it's out, eggs are good, then they're bad. It's a whole thing. One thing that I think the fitness industry really does a horrible job of is teaching people how to get in shape and stay in shape. Now, we see it everywhere. There's the 6-week challenges, there's the 12-week challenges, and I always tell clients that I refer to them as suffer windows. Because what happens for most people is they can do the 6-week challenge, they can do the 12-week challenge, but if you expected a human being to do that for a full year, at the end of the year, they would have no social life, they would be miserable, they would be so hungry, and they would never want to do it another day in their life. Because what ends up happening is they're really designed for people to kind of grind out this suffer window, this quick sprint of 6 weeks where they eat food they don't like, they're working out so much, they can't have a social life, they spend no time with friends or family, and they just have to kind of grind it out. So at the end of that, they get to their goal, maybe they lose weight or they've built strength, those pieces, but then they immediately stop because there's no actual way to maintain that. The massive disservice in this to people is that we don't teach people how to get in shape and stay in shape. When it comes to your overall health and wellness, your overall fitness, your fitness is your ability to fit into the world around you, to say yes to the things that you want to do in life. So maybe it's saying yes to going on a hike with a friend. Maybe it's saying yes to going and playing a soccer game with your kids. Maybe it's saying yes to going on a run with a neighbor. It could be anything, but it's your ability to actually enjoy your life. And what we don't realize is that our health and our happiness are so closely linked together, because your individual health is your ability to say yes to the world around you, which in turn is your ability to enjoy the life that you're living, which really is what leads to your happiness. When it comes to health and fitness, we really jump on these kind of big measures. So when people start making any sort of lifestyle changes, and I've seen this over the years, whenever I start new clients, I always start with smaller goals. So I start off new clients with typically 3 workouts a week, where most people will come to me and say, well, I can do 5. I know you can do 5. In fact, I know that you'll crush 5 for the next 6 weeks. But I know after 6 weeks, someone might have a birthday, a holiday will come up, you might be taking a vacation, or you got sick. And then when we don't get our 5 in, we feel defeated. And when people feel defeated, we feel discouraged in what we're doing. And we don't want to keep going. Whereas when we set ourselves up for success going, I'm going to aim for 3. My goal is 3. So if I get 3 at the end of the week, I crushed it. If you get 3 and you went an extra day or 2, I'm not going to be mad. Go off. You got bonus. And that's the best way to look at this, is when you're setting health and wellness goals, set yourself up for success with reasonable goals going into it, and anything above and beyond that, those are bonus points. That's an extra celebration of more that you did. But when we set you up for success going, you're going to do 3 workouts a week, you get to the end of every week, you crushed it. Sally has a birthday, not a big deal. You shuffle your schedule, you still get your 3 in. You're sick, not a big deal. You still get a couple in on the days you're not feeling too bad, but the days you're really not feeling good, you rest, and you rest guilt-free. You're taking a vacation, not a big deal. You build in a couple days of movement and activity while you're away, but you don't have to be going to the gym every single day that you're away. You see, when we set ourselves up for success and we feel good and we feel encouraged, it makes us want to do more. So what happens for so many people, and I've been doing this for years, is I start clients with 3 workouts a week. Those clients will typically do more and more and more and more. The clients that I start with 3 a week and insist on doing 5 so they get more in, after kind of that 6 to 8 week mark, life happens, which isn't a big deal. But when they're not getting those extra consistent 2 bonus in, it wears on their self-confidence a little bit. which is exactly where I come in. So I coach them through that piece. But it's the piece of setting ourselves up for success in the very beginning and setting realistic goals for ourselves. Because when we set realistic goals for ourselves, we know we can knock them out of the park, and we know it's something that we can keep up. If we set ourselves up going, I'm gonna meal prep every meal, I'm never gonna eat out, I'm never having fast food, I go to the gym twice a day, it's just not realistic long term. Leaving clients aside, when I look at my own life and my own goals, if you are someone that travels at all, you ever wanna leave your house, just even for a day trip, a weekend, nothing big. I don't mean a month-long trip, I mean just a day. Full day you're leaving, you're probably gonna end up eating out. And what happens for a lot of people is you eat out and you immediately assume, I'm off track. I've eaten something bad. I shouldn't have eaten that. My whole day is out the door. That's not true. That is garbage. The diet industry told you that, and it's trash. Trash. There are ways that we can eat out, and of course it's not something that we want to do all the time, but there are days when you're in a pinch and you need to eat out that you can do it and still stay on track for your goals. These are the pieces that we need to teach people. Because what ends up happening for people is it's not actually the burger that you ate while you were out of town that day. It's the guilt that you feel the next day. Because it's kind of this hamster wheel of exhaustion for people where if they go off track, they try and make up for it the next week. So Monday comes around, they get back on track. They're super strict, they're eating clean or whatever diet they're doing. They're working out, they're getting their cardio in, they're pushing themselves so hard Monday to Friday. But they're over restricting. So by the time they get to Friday, they're so exhausted. They're having crummy workouts. You have no willpower. And so many people think, well, I have no willpower, that's on me. No, my dude, you're starving. It's not that you have no willpower. It's that your body is just like, hey friend, I'm starving. So then on the weekend, if you're traveling or you're just having a day, one of these days that I don't subscribe to this, but lots of people will do this, they'll have a cheat day. Everything goes out the window. And we eat everything under the sun because we've been starving all week. Where if we back it up and we go back into that moderation, setting realistic goals there, what is our goal? Maybe we want to start the goal of, we don't need to eat clean this week. We need to eat high protein this week. And we don't actually need to start by setting the goal of crushing our macros every day. Let's start with eating a high protein breakfast every day. Because if we can start at the beginning of the day, it sets you up for success for the rest of the day. So if you start your day having a high protein breakfast, protein is the macro that's gonna satiate your hunger. If we have a good amount of protein with our breakfast, that's gonna keep us full until lunch. If you notice that at 10 or 11, your energy's starting to dip, you probably need a bit more carbs at your breakfast. You can't just have a protein shake that's protein powder and water at breakfast. That's not a meal. It's part of a meal, but it's just not the whole meal. Making sure that we have some carbs in there is gonna give you the fuel to get through the morning. And a big one for so many people is they'll say, well, I have a desk job, so I don't really need anything. You do. Being a human takes energy. Just in case you forgot, just your existence, thinking, being creative, you wanna have quick responses, have an interesting conversation at all. Remember to get up when you have to pee and not just pee your pants. We need fuel for those things, just the basic human things, breathing, your heart pumping blood through your body. I know you think I didn't do anything though, but trust me, trust. I promise I've been doing this a long time and I know that this isn't a fun, shiny marketing plan for you. I'm not gonna tell you that you're gonna lose 40 pounds in 4 days because all of those things are trash. But I will say that if you build in those small habits and you do them in a sustainable way, they'll stick. And this will be the last time you do this. Because losing the weight is always the hardest. Keeping it off is so much easier. And I say that as someone that's lost 50 pounds. I'm not sitting from a golden throne that's never lost weight. I've lost 50 pounds and it was hard. And I gained and lost the same 20 pounds for years on this constant cycle of never feeling like it would stay off because I would go to these extreme measures and then I would just want to enjoy my life. And I would get thrown off track and I would gain the weight back. And it was this hamster wheel that was never ending and always exhausting. But the moment that I took a much different approach to that, I actually trained less. I was much more relaxed with my nutrition because I wasn't so strict during the week. So then I didn't actually go on such a bender with my food on the weekends. I ate in moderation. When I craved something, I always say, have your craving when it's a 2. Don't wait for it to be a 10. Because when you have it at a 2, If it's a piece of cake, you'll have a little sliver of cake. It will taste good and you'll leave it. If you wait until the weekend when your cravings are 10, you'll eat the whole cake. We didn't even enjoy it. We just put the food on a pedestal all week and we dreamt about it. We salivated. We made it way better in our minds than it really was. But then by the time Saturday came and we were gonna have our cheat day, we had to eat the whole thing because we had been dreaming about it all week. Whereas if you would have just had the little sliver on Tuesday, made sure you had some good protein to balance that out, got some movement in, it's not a big deal. Food also loses its appeal when we take back our power with it. As a society, we give so much power to food because we make it so much more powerful than it needs to be. There's no such thing as good food and bad food. There is some food that has more nutrients in it and some food that has a little less nutrients in it. The food that has less nutrients in it, though, typically tastes real good. So as long as we have mostly nutrient-dense food and some of those just delicious foods sometimes, we leave balanced, feeling fueled, and feeling satisfied. And the biggest thing when it comes to sustainability is you have to do things in a way that satisfy you in every area of your life. So if reaching your health and fitness goals don't also satisfy your career goals and your social goals, they don't support your social and emotional health, it's not gonna last. And the problem with us not being able to take care of our health is that when we don't take care of ourselves, we have less to give to the world around us. So when you pour into yourself and you take care of your physical health, you have more energy to pour into your career, your family, your social circle, everything around you. But when we constantly feel depleted, defeated, exhausted, tired, sluggish, we have less to give to our careers, our families, our friends. So when you're making your health and wellness goals going into this next block, whatever that block looks like for you, I really want to encourage you to set realistic goals for yourself. Set measurable goals, so things that you can actually look at and go, okay, I crushed this, or I need to adjust and evaluate this. But with those goals, as you're getting started, I really want you to leave room for you to have an off week. Not because every week's going to be an off week, but because the benefits of feeling encouraged and empowered from your goals and knowing that you crushed your goals at the end of the week, leave room for you to keep raising the bar and keep pushing yourself, because it leaves you encouraged at the end of the week wanting to do more instead of feeling defeated at the end of the week, feeling like you can't do it at all. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks for coming to my little chit chat today. If you have any other questions or anything like that, don't hesitate to drop them down below in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.